Gaming monitors. What exactly is it that they bring to the figurative table here? Faster processing times, so that's the speed at which it can take that signal that comes in from your video card to draw a new frame and turn that into something that the panel can understand. And faster pixel response times. So that's the time that it takes an individual pixel to go, hey, you're supposed to change to this color, and then actually flip to a different color so that the image changes. But until a couple of years ago, all gaming monitors were still held back by one key factor, the refresh rate. And in fact, many gaming monitors today, including this one, are still running at 60 refreshes per second, or 60 hertz. Meaning that some of the information on the screen can be up to 16 milliseconds old, depending on when the video card output it. The PG258Q kicks all of that in the teeth, boasting the highest true refresh rate of any gaming display on the market. 240 hertz, bringing that maximum delay from refresh rate down to about 4 milliseconds. So let's check it out then, shall we? TunnelBear is the simple VPN app that makes it easy to browse privately and enjoy a more open internet. To try TunnelBear for free, check out the link in the video description. Now, to be clear, there have been displays in the past that have advertised 240 hertz, 480 hertz, or even 960 hertz refresh rates. But those have been different. Typically, this has been found on televisions, where what they're actually doing is taking a regular old 60 hertz signal and processing it to approximate what the frames in between would be. Every TV manufacturer has a different name for it. But that technology is totally unsuitable for gaming for a number of reasons. The main one being that it adds a ton of additional processing time, where on a TV it doesn't really matter, but in a game where the user is actually interacting with what they see on the screen, it's a totally different ball game. So for this to happen on a gaming monitor, there are a couple of key advancements that had to be made. Number one, we needed faster processors for our displays, because 240 hertz, 40 milliseconds later with a bunch of, guesses as to what might have been in between is not the same as real-time, sub-millisecond processing of frames streaming over from a graphics card. And number two is that we needed a better display interface. So DisplayPort 1.2 saves the day again. It's capable of carrying 4K 60 hertz, which if you, do some fairly simple math, is 4 times the number of pixels as 1920 by 1080, or 1080p, which is what this display does. So it stands to reason then that you would also be able to do 4 times the refresh rate at this resolution. Number 3 is we needed faster panels. So it wasn't until now that we would even be able to get any benefit out of 240 refreshes per second, because if the pixel response times weren't good enough, then sure, you might be pushing out 240 images per second, but you'd end up with a big, ugly, blurry mess instead of a clean, crisp image. Okay, so we managed to cover the refresh rate and the resolution so far, but let's talk about the rest of the monitor. First up is the base. This is gonna be a love it or hate it thing. It's got kind of this black and sort of rust orange kind of thing going on. And then they include a couple different ones of these little ROG illumination logo doodads here that you can swap out if you want. So they include 2 ROG ones, and then they also include a few blanks, so you can customize it if you want, or you can turn the light off entirely in the on-screen display. Next up is I/O. Now, originally G-Sync monitors. Did I mention this is G-Sync, by the way? So that's cool if you're into the whole variable refresh rate technology thing. Only had DisplayPort in. Now we get DisplayPort and HDMI, although it should be noted, this was interesting, the HDMI port only operated at 64 hertz when I tried it. So I'm not sure what the deal with that is, because that's not even the best that you could normally do on an HDMI 1.4 connection. Also down here is a USB hub, power in, and a headphone pass-through, as well as a little doodad here for cable management, and then the whole thing goes through this guy right here. You've got all the normal adjustments, so you can go portrait, you can twist, you can go up and down, and you can tilt like that. You can take these ugly stickers off it as well, and getting down to the panel itself. What has become an ROG staple, these super thin bezels on the right and left, as well as the top, making it ideal for a surround gaming setup if you're into that sort of thing. I personally am not. And as for the panel itself, you can use this handy test image that I got over on AVS Forum to find out if it is true 8-bit or if it's 6-bit with FRC. So that's a technique that approximates shades that 6-bit panels can't reproduce by reproducing nearby ones and alternating them, and it looks like it does use FRC. So that right side has kind of a mottled appearance to it. So let's fire up a game then, shall we? So at first, Ed wasn't sold. We went straight to 240 hertz and tried with G-Sync and without G-Sync, and thought that maybe whether it's the computer and the game engine struggling to maintain steady 240 FPS, or just the limitations of human perception, it seemed like it was just more numbers, more hertz numbers for the sake of more numbers, without the obvious benefit that going from 60 to 120 or 144 hertz had. But obviously, based on some of the shots being made, it wasn't hurting matters either. Then we decided to try out the ULMB mode, which necessitated a switch to 144 hertz max. And something wasn't quite right. He was complaining about not having audio and complaining about this and complaining about why shots weren't being made, but those flick shots, they were happening before. So back to 240 hertz we went, they're back. It looks like, just like the SSD upgrade of half a decade ago, it's one of those things where it might be a little hard to tell the difference until you've had it and had it yanked away. So that leads pretty well into the conclusion for this display here. I did run it through my usual range of color tests, and as I would expect from someone who cares about attention to detail like ASUS, in sRGB mode, it's actually not bad. Consistently delta E's of less than 5 across the board. Is it suitable for content creation? No, but were we really expecting that out of a TN monitor? Not really. Overall, pretty good. But on to the gaming argument. It's like a $500 monitor. For someone like me, would I say it's worth it? No, I'm not gonna get the most out of a piece of machinery like this. But for someone who actually has more skill, do I think that 240 hertz technology is the way forward for competitive gaming? Absolutely. Do you remember the last time you called your cell phone carrier and someone just like picked up the line and was like, "Hi, can I help you with something?" Of course you don't, because that would have been like before I even had a cell phone. But that's not the case with Ting. At Ting, you don't speak to a robot, you get put through directly to a person, and their pay structure is totally different too. You pay only for what you use, with the average Ting bill being only $23 a month per device. If you're stuck in a contract and you switch to Ting, they'll cover 25% of your cancellation fee up to $75, and they've got new lower mobile data rates across the board, just $10 per gig beyond the first gig. So head over to linus.ting.com and try out their savings calculator. You enter in your last few bills, how much you used, how much you paid for, and it spits out an answer as to whether or not you will save by switching to Ting. And when you sign up at our link, you'll get $25 in service credit or towards a new device. So thanks for watching, guys. If you disliked this video, hit that button, but if you liked it, hit the like button, get subscribed, woo! Or maybe consider checking out where to buy the products we featured at our Amazon link in the video description. Also down there is our t-shirt store and our community forum, which you should totally join. Super cool. Now that you're done doing all that stuff, you're probably wondering what to watch next, so check out our latest video over on Channel Super Fun. It'll be worth it. I'm not pointing at you, Luke. I'm pointing at the thing in the corner. You're all like,
It wasn't a reaction to you.